Hey, have you seen Stray? You know, that cat game? It's really been going viral, and a lot of people have been dubbing it like one of the most ambitious, mid-budget, non-AAA games. It might end up being the biggest AA game of the year, some people think. Now, we have no idea for sure. We haven't gotten our hands on the game yet. When we do, we'll make a before you buy video, but we could be wrong. The game could just turn out terrible, but we thought there was an interesting conversation here about this game. I mean, the game has really gone viral. Posts about it were #1 on certain gaming subreddits at a point. We've seen YouTube videos about it get decent views. Anytime there's a new trailer, like a state of play or anything like that, there's a lot of interest on social media. We've seen forums, comment sections popping off with excitement. All this over a cat game? Well, it might seem surprising until you actually look at it. Not to sound like a hype man, because again, we still haven't played this thing, but I mean, look at the game footage. I feel like most people can't help but instantly be intrigued by this. Now, this game, Stray, is developed by a studio called Blue 12, and it's published by Annapurna Interactive's game division, which has a good track record lately with Neon White, Outer Wilds, and one of my favorites, The Artful Escape. So it has that going for it. But what exactly is this game? Well, according to them, you explore and survive as this cat in an unwelcoming fallen city environment. Navigation, exploration, puzzle solving, using items, and stealth seem to be the main game elements. Now, we've seen the cat pick things up and use objects to solve puzzles. We've also seen the cat sprint from danger, as well as jump across ledges and up onto objects. Not like a jump button, but more of a context-sensitive jump. Not as exciting, but yeah. Doing cat stuff like eating, drinking, playing, rubbing up on stuff, knocking stuff over, scratching couches, which makes me extremely angry. Like, the game seems to go all in on the playing as a cat thing. The sounds it makes, from what we can hear, sounds like it's mostly actual cat sounds. According to a preview from GameSpot, there's actually a dedicated meow button. And some of the actions just involve the cat swatting at things with its paw, and even the way it jumps up on things, like the back legs winding up and then the sudden pop of a jump. Animations and little touches like this, like just from the gameplay trailers, do seem convincing. If you have a cat, you probably get it. I mean, the way the eyes work, the sporadic movements of the tail, and just the cuteness factor. Like, it seems like they got the cat game part figured out. Now, as for the rest of the gameplay, the cat makes friends with a drone in the game, and this little drone that like sticks around on your collar or something, it can help you interact with different objects in the world, seemingly some inventory management and menu stuff, translate language like on signs and stuff, as well as communicate with the robots living in this city. Now, the robots that inhabit this city seem really interesting and kind of make up the other half of this game, in my opinion. They just look really cool. The robots here, or androids, or whatever they might be, really create a cool setting and vibe. They look about human size, and it seems like they'll be a big part of the journey. Like, it looks like you can interact with many of them thanks to your little drone partner. I'm sure you're going to be giving some of them items, but I wonder if there's any more types of trading or side quest stuff going on with them. We'll have to wait and see. So with navigating, puzzle solving, and interactions, we haven't seen any gameplay elements that look really intense. Sorry guys, I don't think this one is going to be Elden Ring. This looks like way more of a story experience thing than like a hardcore gameplay game. There still do seem to be threats though. Like, threats seemingly involve the chase sequences, bad drones that you hide from, environmental hazards, and scary weird alien bug things, because there's something going on with the city, some sort of infection, and that's where these weird alien bugs seem to come into play. It does also look like your drone will eventually have the ability to scare these gross things off with like a special light, and with the stealth elements that they tease, I'll take it. There are still not enough stealth games, so hey, cool. It might not be the deepest stealth gameplay elements, but just seeing the cat hide in a cardboard box and wait for something else to pass just gets me excited at the concept of like a hardcore animal stealth game. Maybe we can get that, or maybe at the very least they could bring back Sly Cooper, but hey, anyway, soapbox over. I think the real focus might just be the world and the story. It's all very mysterious. I think the one thing that is really appealing to people besides the whole play as a cat thing is, like I said, the cool robots, but also this dystopian cyberpunk-esque city, seemingly all underground. It looks cool, like some cool Instagram sci-fi art come to life. You know, it's dreary and depressing, but also just cool science fiction at the same time, you know what I mean? Like, we've seen plenty of games with this style, but none quite like this, and playing as a small, vulnerable stray cat in a much bigger world makes it that much more interesting. A cat game in a Blade Runner world, that's an easy pitch for a lot of players right there. So I just hope we get some answers about this mysterious world, you know? What's up with the cat? Where are all the humans? What's the deal? Even if it's ambitious, I just hope there's some interesting themes that pop up. My other real question is, how much of this world can we really explore? Like, how linear is it? Some areas look pretty open. Some people have thrown around the phrase open world, but it's still hard to tell, especially because it seems like there might be some verticality too, like a cat can jump up fire escapes and across rooftops, so there's a lot of potential for these areas to be big. But that's the whole thing, right? Potential. I think whether it ends up a compelling video game adventure or just a chill, simple piece of video game art, I think either way, it's at least kind of a win, as long as it doesn't end up boring or just a complete gameplay disaster. The other bit of appeal is just that it's an animal game. People love animals and love regular old animals like cats and dogs. You know what this kind of actually vaguely reminds me of? It's part of the reason why I was interested in this game in the first place. Remember Tokyo Jungle? Remember Tokyo Jungle on PS3? It was a Sony published smaller scale game based around a few animals in an abandoned Tokyo. It started basic, a lot of the focus is on like Pomeranian dogs, but it would expand to other dogs, deers, hyena, lions, and it got pretty crazy. It was a really unique game, kind of about animal survival, but with a vibe that is something else, man, and I wish I could just go back and replay it because there aren't really many games like it. It was an experience more than, like I said, a hardcore game, but it was still really satisfying to play. Also, we've just never really talked about Tokyo Jungle in a gameranx video, and I felt like it was a good time to finally bring it up. Anyway, that tangent over. Really, to wrap up, Stray has been popping off online, I think, because obviously, cat game in Blade Runner City is an easy pitch. The sci-fi setting seems unique and not generic. Playing as a cat is something we don't often do. And really, just to touch on something else, the game, as a concept, is different, man. How many of you guys out there complain about remakes and sequels and just endless stuff and less creativity? You know, here's something new and special right here. I think that's why there's a lot of interest. I think a lot of people are just hungry for something a little different, something fresh, you know? So with Stray, that's really where we think all the appeal lies, why people are interested in it. It could still, like I said, end up being a flop, but we won't know until we play it. It's releasing July 19th, 2022, so we don't have to wait too long, and it's gonna be on Windows, PS4, and PS5. Fingers crossed it's good, and at the very least, even if it isn't, that maybe we just get more games that try cool ideas like this. But that's us. We thought this game was interesting and we wanted to talk about it a little before released, just some of the ideas behind it. We kept it kind of simple, but we are gonna link a couple of interesting stories and previews of the game down in the description, so definitely check those out if you wanna dive a bit deeper. Big picture though, with what we said, what do you guys think about this game? Did this game catch your eye when you first saw it at a State of Play or something a few years back? Or did you see the more recent stuff and now you're into it? We've been looking forward to this game pretty much since day one, but whether you're like that or if you just figured out about this game from this video, we want to know what you're thinking. Would you want to play as a cat in a game? And if there were other games like this type of vibe, this type of creativity, what animal would you want to see involved? Let us know whatever you're thinking about Stray. I think it could be a fun conversation. It's fun to talk about a different type of game every once in a while. And if you enjoyed this little chat, clicking the like button's all you got to do. It really helps us out. And like I said, be sure to keep an eye out for our before you buy video. That will be coming out closer to the game's actual launch. It'll probably be pretty fun to talk about either way, so keep your eyes peeled. Click the notification bell if you haven't already, if you aren't subscribed or anything, because we put out videos every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.